We're back. Welcome back, everybody. We just wrapped up these sports recap part of this week's episode of Conway's Corner, and today will be, or not today, well, today and right now, we will be switching gears into television because one channel in particular has, in the course of one Sunday night, probably in my opinion, shot to the most must-see TV right now because two of the most popular shows on TV came back in the same night. The first of which is a personal favorite of mine that I'm in the middle of watching, Better Call Saul, the Breaking Bad spinoff that has turned into a show just as no, I'm reluctant to say compare it to Breaking Bad in terms of completely equal quality because let's be real, can anything really be Breaking Bad? But it seems to be almost just as popular, and it got renewed. It just started its fifth season right now, and already got renewed for a sixth season. So, funnily enough, it'll, when it's all said and done, run longer than Breaking Bad ran for, which was only 5 seasons. And I just finished the fourth season on Netflix recently, and I haven't. There's been 2 episodes. There was one Sunday night, one Monday night. So we're 2 episodes into season 5 of Better Call Saul. I've only watched the first one, but based on that, and based on coming off of season 4, which was my favorite season so far, I think we're really starting to get into. It was a more of a gradual, slope kind of thing. We're starting to get into almost a nosedive of everybody's favorite skeevy lawyer, Jimmy McGill, becoming the even more morally challenged criminal defendant, Saul Goodman. He officially goes by that name in the show now. We're also starting to see, I think, for the first time, there's always been like Breaking Bad cameos and references, and if you watch Breaking Bad, you understand what's going on in the show at this point. But it's really starting to feel like we're picking up to a more rapid pace, escalating towards where the events of Better Call Saul cut off and where the events of Breaking Bad begin. Mike and Gustavo Fring, we're just starting to see a little bit more into how their relationship forges to the point where we know it to be in Breaking Bad. Everything that goes on behind the scenes that we just kind of accept as that's how it is all the time in Breaking Bad. Saul or Jimmy starting to make these connections with the Skells of New Mexico, of Albuquerque, and it really just, you're getting a, because one of my favorite parts about watching Better Call Saul has been to go back and watch scenes from Breaking Bad involving Saul and him interacting with Walt or him interacting with Jesse, and thinking, okay, I'm at this point in Better Call Saul, and he's still morally, questionable at times, sure, but for the most part, still a pretty good, well-meaning, upstanding guy who just wants to be successful, and he still, despite his clientele, holds decent company with the likes of Kim Wexler and less so Howard Hamlin, his brother's former associate. I'm trying to, by the way, sorry if you don't watch Better Call Saul and these names don't mean much to you. I'm trying to do this like as spoiler free as possible because you should watch it, and I don't want to be the person to ruin it for you when you start to watch. But so I like to kind of compare where I'm at in Better Call Saul to where Saul is during Breaking Bad, and now those ties are really starting to become more visible. The absurd way he dresses and wears his hair, his security personnel, Huel Babineau, who he keeps, and I'm just really excited to see where it's going to lead and where it's going to end, and then because I'm wondering if the show is going to end with him meeting Walt and Jesse in Breaking Bad for the first time, which would be kind of awesome if they made a cameo or they just re-showed that scene for the last time. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to this season moving forward. It's feeling a bit more dark and gritty than it has before, which I guess is the point, because as much as Saul serves as a comic relief, I guess, character in Breaking Bad, he was always one of my favorite characters. So the fact that he has his own show is just fantastic to me. Fantastic to me, and I really love just keeping up with it. And it's a really perfect mix of his goofiness combined with the underhanded tactics he will do to make a quick buck, and starting to put a strain on, as I mentioned, his normal relationships with his his girlfriend, his former legal partner, Kim Wexler, who also I'm extremely curious about, because this show, well, it's pretty much just a spinoff for what Saul and Mike did before the events of Breaking Bad. They introduced characters such as, Chuck McGill, Howard Hamlin, Kim Wexler from Jimmy's like legal universe before he became Saul Goodman. And it just really makes me wonder where they're going to end up and how he's going to just drift away from them because obviously these people have no existence in the Breaking Bad universe in Walter White and Jesse Pinkman's time. So it makes me kind of, get anticipatory and get kind of nervous about what's going to happen if he's going to cut them out if something bad might happen to them, because they're kind of removed from the whole cartel drug pushing side of it, but it's still a really compelling part of the show nonetheless, to take a look at the kind of personal relationships that develop around Jimmy and around Saul and make him the person that he is. And so AMC debuted that last Sunday after debuting another one of their most popular shows ever, the second half of season 10 of Walking Dead, which just kind of sounds ridiculous because at any point where a show's season gets into double digits, you start to raise your eyebrows and think about, can this really keep going? And around seasons like 7 and 8 of Walking Dead, I felt the same way. I'm still love the show. I would still watch it till the wheels came off, even if it didn't, make certain changes that it did, just because I feel very invested in these characters and the stories. But miraculously, for the last season and a half, starting with season 9, it really, I believe, the new showrunner Angela Kang, who came on, had a lot to do with it. Just so many changes that really brought the show to feeling back to how it felt at its, pinnacle, in my opinion, in seasons like 2, 3, 4, and 5, back earlier in the show, with that sense of it actually feels more like a horror show than it felt more like action-y towards the bigger battle scenes in seasons like 7 and 8. It feels a lot more like a creepy horror show. There's a sense of constant unease watching with a lot of these new characters that just make you very uncomfortable and you feel very tense with the situations that our heroes get into. And it's just really fantastic because it really encourages people who've been watching for a long time, like myself and other fellow, longtime Walking Dead fans. And it really just gives me encouragement for the fact that it's been continually renewed into an 11th season. And the character of Maggie Green will be returning then too. So that's even more incorporating the new goodness with some of the old goodness and turning it into the very quality television program that is the last 1.5 seasons of The Walking Dead. And I'm really excited to see where this season goes because the first episode got off on a really good note. A lot of it picked off right up where the last half of season 10 left off. So no time jumps, no real confusion. You just know everything that's going on. You catch up with heroes and villains alike and see the predicaments that they're up to. I won't really want to spoil anything, but it takes place in a rather tight quarters situation, and there were certain scenes that really did make me feel a bit claustrophobic and short of breath and very nervous for the characters that were trying to maneuver and navigate that situation. So if you've, like some people I know, given up on Walking Dead after it got kind of lesser in quality, or if you just never watched it at all, let this be my personal message to you that it's a very good show again. You will not regret starting it up again and watching it, because even without the main character, Rick Grimes, it somehow manages to be a fantastic television show. And I don't know what they did. I don't know what changes they made, but I'm glad they made them, and they should really keep doing it. And that'll wrap it up for the TV section of our Conway's Corner today, unless AMC releases a new season of a third show that I just don't know about. I'll have one quick more thing when I come back for you guys. I just finished a new book, and I liked it a lot, so I'd like to share my thoughts, my review, and maybe get you to pick it up as well. I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.